This is the first training for Google Analytics that we're doing for you so that you can actually find some really good stuff in your analytics to help your business help you make the right decisions for your business. Now, a well set up analytics account is going to have a lot more complexity to it, but we're going to start from the basics and we're just going to go through some of what you can identify just with a really simple analytics setup. So you want to click on your admin down the bottom there. It's a little cog symbol there. And what you want to do first and foremost to do a little bit of an audit of your website to make sure it's set up correctly. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have at least 3 views. One being a test view, and that's what you use your testing for. And if you have to name it that way, name it that way. Just if you're stressed or you're busy and you go in to do something and you're like, oh my God, wrong view. And then you have a backup view. It's called the raw website data view. You can do backup view, whatever makes sense to you. You're the one using it, name it so that you recognize it really fast. Then you can have either main, or when you create your first view in Google Analytics, it will say all website data view. You can keep it as that and just put main in the front of it. The whole point of a naming convention is that you recognize it. It's for you. You will read it, or whoever's reading it, and make sure it's consistent. Don't let people create their own ideas in there. Make it so that there's a template. Everybody follows the template. Successful businesses are built on systems and processes. And so if you make it consistent, you're not being creative and doing things on the fly in this element of your business. And your data is a very good system that you need to. It's one of your processes, probably. I don't know where I would categorize that. But anyway, first best practices is make sure your view is set up properly. And if you only have one view, then the best practices of setting up your other views is making sure that this is set up correctly. So you've got your time zone correct. You've got your right prefix to your URL. This is automatic. If you're doing any ads, make sure your Google ad is connected, and that's over in another column, and I'll show you that in a minute. You want to put site search tracking. Site search tracking is that little spyglass on your website that when people punch in information or search into your website, you kind of want to see what they're searching for, because it's a really good hack to find out content that you could be creating for your website, because people are actually looking for that. Now, then there's search categories. That's a little bit advanced, so we're not going to go through that at the moment, but you want to make sure that this is definitely turned on, and you just put an S in there. So what you're looking for is search results. Then search, it just asks you to look for when people go into that search bar, and that's the directive in the back end here. So then once that's done, you just press copy view and you create, all your different views, your 3 views. You need at least 3 views. You can have up to 20 per property, but we're going to just stick with the 3 good ones to set up. Now, there's another element you want to be mindful of. You've got 3 different ways to add people as a user to your account. You want to make sure that if you want that user to only see this kind of stuff, and that's just mainly reading your reports, you add them at this level. If you want people making changes to this column, and that would be something like an analytics person, you would want them to have access to this level. Analytics and ads person. A marketing content person could probably get away with this level view. And this is your account view. So this is like your master account name. Every different URL that you want to create, like if you have subdomains, you want to probably create them under here. And then you can just keep on adding them in under here and blah, blah, blah. You get your own tracking info, but it's under this one account and you know where to find it. So it's really easy for you to look in your analytics and know that, that's my parent account. This is all my child properties, like my subdomains. And, okay, I won't overwhelm you. That's going down a track that's probably going to confuse you. So in here, the tracking code, that's this unique code that's unique to your business, your web design, so website, sorry. So usually that is embedded on your website through a plugin like Header Footer, We personally use Google Tag Manager at Rumble Media because it's a really smart way to filter out vanity clicks and, you know, low tire kicking people. You have a popular post and all these other people came and they're not really a market and you don't want to really retarget to them. So you want to set up certain behaviors that show engagement. Well, you can do that through Google Tag Manager a lot easier. But we can do engagement goals in analytics without using Google Tag Manager. So this training is for if you have Google Tag Manager set up, the basics, then there's some really cool basic tags, around about 8, that can give you everything you need to create custom audiences in Facebook, Instagram, and Google Ads, and that will make your marketing dollar go further, which is the whole reason I've pivoted to learning everything I can about analytics. And I love it. I'm training with one of the best in the world at the moment. He's super cool, and the insights I'm finding is just bonkers. So I'm handing over some of that juicy stuff to you. So this is another one, data collection in your property view, right? So we're in the middle column and it's underneath your tracking code. You want to make sure this is on because this is your retargeting element. It sends signals and it also tracks people across different devices. So you want to make sure this is on. And so that's in your middle column here in your property. Make sure if you've got multiple domains that you're in the right domain that you want to be working on today. So if you have a Google ad account, that's where you link it in here. And then if you have an e-commerce site, you want to set it up in here. There's 2 different ways to set up your analytics. This is standard, so really simple. And if you're starting out with an e-com site and you don't have anyone to back you up with any of this extra tracking in Enhanced, then unless you're with Shopify, click Enhance because Shopify does Enhance out of the gate for you. But if you've got an e-commerce store on Woo, and you're just starting out, then just do the standard. That's all you need. You will get some cart and checkout behavior in your reports. So that is it. So make sure all of that is set up in your one view, then go and create your other views. Now that we've done some, just a super basic audit, there is a lot more to do in your audit. There's one other thing that I want you to know, and I'm going to terrify you a little bit, but it's purely for, loving and, very, kindness, goal. When you're inviting someone adding someone to your account, what I want you to make sure is that you only add people above this line, right? See this line here? You only want to add people above this line. I'm sure the marketers you are working with are ethical and they won't ever ask you to do this because this is, when it says here, delete users, they can delete you. Even though you're the owner and you've set it up, the only time you want to do that is if you sold your business and you're handing over the data because they bought that too. So anyway, that's my best practices. No matter which column you're in, make sure you don't invite them in the below the line. All right. Okay, now let's go in and have a look at some of this cool stuff in here. So this is real-time reports. So if you are running a campaign or you have got people doing things on your where you've got some campaign, it's going live, it's bonkers, you're getting some results, and you want to see some of the behavior of what users are doing on your website, then you want to actually have a look here. And then you can also look at events. If you have analytics set up properly, you will have, if you have Google Tag Manager, the basics set up, you will actually have a look at, you'll be able to see things in here that give you a little bit more information on how far they're scrolling on a page. And that is what Google Tag Manager engagement indicators can do. So, but otherwise, if you don't have it set up, there's going to be, I don't think there's going to be much in there for events, but you can have a look at what content they're looking at. You can see where they're at. You can have a look at traffic sources. So that, if you want to see what's happening live, that's where you go to. Now, the next report is the audience report. Now, so I don't overwhelm you, got to get rid of that because that's filtering my view. So I don't overwhelm you, so it does do active users, where they're going. Right, okay, sweet. So what I want to do is I want to just show you one or two key views in your reports to be able to use your analytics really smartly and in a way that you feel confident with. A very smart business coach said to me in a training, he said, every business has a certain KPI that tells them whether they're on track or off track, and you want to find that out for your business. And if for maybe you're measuring a goal or a conversion, that is, you want to make sure that the lead to conversion, like the amount of times they visit or the amount of pages that they visit in a view, is 3 or more. And then as you write more content, you might see that the average visit is 5 pages or more, but that's a little indicator that's telling you your audience is engaged. The content you're writing is hitting a nerve. You're speaking to your audience in a way that really makes a difference for them, and they're engaged. So, that's a bad sign. This tells me my analytics is not set up properly. It means I've got 2 analytics codes on my site. So I have not touched this account for 6 months. So there's going to be some fixing in here to do. So don't look at this as a marker. I'm going to use this as ways when I'm doing my training on setting up the segments and goals. I'm going to show you how to fix them. Okay. So the next view that I want you to have a look at is User Explorer. Now in User Explorer, this is the cookie number that is given to your visitor when it comes to your site, and Google automatically names them as a client ID, whether they've converted or not. So you get a cookie, whether you've been on the site, whether you've converted or not. Just visiting the site, Google places a cookie on their website and assigns it to your tracking code. So what you use this view for, and you just hit the revenue to make sure all your sales are at the top there. So you want to make sure what you're looking at is you're trying to find patterns in your data. So in your data for sales, you'll go, right, 5 sessions. A session is classed as a 30-minute window of time. You know, so it can, there is ways to connect them and make sure that they're actually, but that comes into better analytics building. But you know, out of the gate, you want to look for you want to use these as an average, not an accurate resemblance of how many times they visited. But you want to have a look at patterns and behavior. Like I know with this client, them seeing the website or the product once and converting is not an unusual pattern. It happens probably around about 50% of the visits to this website is that they come, they see, they need it. They've waited so long to make this decision that they're at that critical point, and it is a need purchase. So that is why I'm seeing these kind of stats in this client's analytics. Right, but what's really interesting is that you're seeing things like people are engaging. So when they're engaging like that, you know, like they're less than 30 minutes or over 30 minutes. Like this one was all in one session, and they converted on the first visit. Therefore, their bounce rate is 0 because they didn't go to any other page. So I would say that this would be a search for a product, and the product has come up in the SEO results. And if I really wanted to confirm that, rather than hypothesizing on this, I would put in here, I would create a segment, and the segment would be about the traffic source, and the sources that you're looking for is organic, because that's where a lot of your conversions are going to happen in one hit. And you want to have a look at other sources like your emails, etc. And we're going to show you how to set up UTMs a little bit later, and that is the reason why you need to set up your UTMs for your Facebook campaigns, your Google Ads campaigns, and your emails, and any content, podcasting, blogs that you might write on other people's site, and you want inbound traffic back to your site. So you want to get into the habit of using UTMs. It will be your friend. You want to make, even if it's a steep learning curve for you and your team, the value it will give you year on year, you will thank me later. You would definitely thank me later. Yeah, and there's tools. We're going to go through the UTM training course on how to do that. We're going to keep it really simple. We're going to show you the potential of how you can use that new data, and you're going to just blow your mind. You're going to love it. And you're going to be a lot smarter with finding out what campaigns, what emails, what Facebook posts worked and got people to go, yeah, that's speaking to me. I want to buy that, or I want to engage you. So this report is really super cool, and that is how I would use it, with segments of devices or your sources, where they came from, or what campaigns. If you're running a campaign, what was it? What was the image, etc. You can decide which one you want to know is working for you, and you can do that. And your marketing people can do that. So the next one is acquisition. Now this overview is one that is used by a lot of people in marketing and business owners, because it gives you so much content and insight in one, it just gives you insight in one view. So, and you can use it to do, check. So you can change your primary dimension here. You can change that to source medium. So anything that's got a drop down, you can kind of change it and see what's happening on your site, right? And then you can change your conversions, and this is where your goals come in. So your goals will actually make, it just kind of creates a pivot of information, and your goals should be around 3 kind of behavioral elements you want to track in your audience. So are they engaged? Are they aware? And aware is what we would call people who are just getting to know you. Engaged, and they could be aware and engaged in the one visit, so don't limit it to there in 3 different sessions. So you want to make sure that you have those little goals, little indicators, so you go, wow, I got people on this, I got people aware, like they were the first visit, and they got to find us, this is their first session over a period of 30 days or whatever your buyer cycle is, and they did these kind of behaviors. And then you can kind of look at it and go, right, they converted, or they did this or that, or, completed a booking form, added to cart, like a micro conversion and a macro conversion, a big, like seeing a key page, like a deliberation page of what's in their cart, or they went to your contact us page and they spent a certain amount of time there. So there's really, the way that you use your goals is how you can look at this, how it comes in this little handy little overlay. And then you've got, you want to do source mediums, or you just want to do sources. Now you see source, medium. So your source is Google, and then you can go, all right. And this is a good way for you to understand what all these different words mean. So medium is, it was organic. So organic, I had a lot of conversions there. But if you overlaid that in a segment up here, you could see the same thing in one go. So company profile, love it. So that is probably you can have a look at that deeper in these, like source medium, etc. You can have a look at your Google Ads, but just out of the gate, I would play with this a little bit more, and you can add segments over here. I don't think you need to do that as much, because you can just remember you're not conflicting it. If you're already looking at source mediums, don't look at source medium up here. You're not going to get a very useful truth from this. So what you want to look at, because you just remember you've got acquisition, users, new users, sessions, bounce rate. You've got pages, average, behavior is bounce rate. So you've got pages per session and average duration, so you want to actually, and this is going to change based on what you have here. So if you go, this is going to go bonkers because I do have a whole lot of goals in here. And it's going to show you that on average, where people are coming from, where they're converting. So you can see that the sessions for organic and paid are pretty well neck on neck, but goal completions is slightly a little bit better from the cost per click campaigns. And that can be Facebook retargeting, AdWords retargeting, and AdWords and Facebook awareness campaigns. But we're doing, we're going outside, like we're doing better for them paid than we are organically. But this is going to tell you, and this in and of itself is going to tell you how your campaigns are going on a really top level, and then you can ask to squirrel into more of that information in your traffic, source medium, etc., and using your segments and your goals, which will pop out over here, to overlay those reports. And find one that works for you. Find one in here that you can go to and go, right, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to check. I want to check page views. And this is exactly what I did for a couple of my clients that I have scaled insanely with a very small marketing budget. Is we just looked at some key indicators that show, and we set up some cool goals, and we set up some call to actions on their website, and we track them. If you've got a funnel and you're asking people to do stuff, you need to track it so that you can tell very quickly, is it working? And if you don't have this kind of number of traffic, remember, expand out your months. Go to 90 days, because some of you might only have 200 visits a month. And so you'll need to just expand that to get some quality data. And you're going to see patterns and trends. And that is what you're looking for in your reports. Okay. Let's go into your behavior. Now, the main thing you want to look at here is their overall, this is handy. This can be handy, the behavior flow. Like you want to see, this is a great way to show where drop-offs are happening. Like where are we losing them? How are we getting them? And you can do, you know, overlays like this here, but I would probably do your landing page here and your source medium up there. And you can find out if you've got people going to a landing page from ads and you're sending them in there too fast and furious that you're asking them for the money shot when they don't even know what the hell they're going to get for the money shot. So you're going to then you can go, okay, major drop off there. We probably need to send them to maybe a discovery page or a catalog kind of page that gets people to have a look at certain other, you know, offers or testimonials, or, you know, you doing a demonstration video, and then on that page having the call to action, and then see how that changes your campaign engagement and where their behavior flow happens. So this is a really good report. I used this a lot in the beginning of my agency, and it gave me a lot of insights to make some really smart decisions for my clients. Other than that, I would look at, now there is a distinct difference between all pages, that's every page on your website, and landing pages. Landing pages are where they land from SEO and any ads or any emails, you know what I mean? Like anything that gets them to your site that, you know, shows some kind of behavioral activity, you know? So it can show you in a quick view, where in SEO are you getting some really big engagement? So you want to have a look at that and see where are you attracting people, and you know, like you can have a look at in second dimension. You can have source, you know, so you can put that in there, and you can say, okay, I already know that some of these are, because I know where my landing pages are for ads, and I know most of these are organic. And then you want to look at, you could probably look at all your completion goals and engagement goals and have a look at that and see where in my SEO am I getting people who are actually taking actions to push them further down the funnel. That's what you want to identify. You want to identify, am I getting people to go further into my site? So you've got here the same kind of overlay of information that you have down the side here. So you've got acquisition, behavior, and conversions. And you've got acquisition, behavior, conversions. And now you've got three key areas on this report that you can pivot information. You can make it look a little bit different. So you can go, which goal do I want to see? Now you can look at the big goals of completion, or you can look at the engagement goals and see what they're hitting on there. That would be really cool. I think that's a very important pivot of information to have a look for. And then over here, you can do source medium, which would be really cool. And then up here, you could put your device, or another cool segment to create is your avatars. Like, who are your people? Is it women? Over 30, under 30, over 60, under 60, between 30 and 60, whoever your market is, make those, see, which part of where are my avatars? I'm so excited about this idea. I'm getting tongue tied. Where are my avatars and what are they doing? How are they engaging? What am I hitting on the money? And what am I, sinking like the Titanic. So you can go in and tweak things. This is really cool. I really want you to play around with, your goals and your segments so that you can just pivot this so it makes a little bit more sense to you. What is your customer doing? What's their level of engagement? What is your persona? And where are they coming from? And pivot between source, medium, or put them both in the same one. Why choose? And remember, if you don't have enough data in this view, expand your date range. Now, the last report in your analytics reports are two really, these are the money shot kind of goals, like you want to see in here, you can do funnel visualization, you can do, don't look at SMART goals. I swear Google's just putting it in there just to tease you. You can't get any information from there yet. So they're in AI discovery mode. So there's nothing in there as yet, but I will keep you updated because we're constantly in advanced analytics groups coaching, finding out any updates that Google is doing, which they do a lot every month at the moment. So, because there's some big changes due to security and personal information that they've had to do since the American election showed that there was a little bit of misuse in people's personal data. So, by the way, these are really cool. Have a look at your reverse goal path. Like I probably would do my funnel visualization more so, but just have a look and see where you are getting some really interesting information. So you want to kind of, look at these, and these funnels are built in your goals, see this is a sign when I changed a goal in a setting in my tag manager, and I forgot to say, even I do mistakes from time, but that's fine. But your goals in here, when you set up goals in here, some of them you can set up funnels. So that is why you're going to see a funnel over here where you and most of that will be on cart, or if you have, add to cart, or if you have a funnel about, they see a blog, they go to my contact page, they fill out a form. That can be a funnel, that has to be activities that happen on your website. You can't say it comes from Google and blah, 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 blah. So, on here, you can also do your pivots and do your, you choose your goals. So that's how you pivot that information here. You'll notice that on not all views, you will see segment, but that's fine. You don't need it because sometimes when you put too many pieces of information together on this view, it will not work. So, and you can't have, different personas showing up in here. That would just make it chaotic to read. So, there's different ways to read each of these reports. And I would definitely make sure you're looking at your funnel visualization because it's going to tell you where people drop off. And then, of course, you have your e-commerce set up. Now, this is what an enhanced e-commerce report will give you. A standard e-commerce report will just give you 2, 3. This is going to show you shopping behavior. So they went, as they added products to cart, they went through and then they went to the checkout page. This is going to show you checkout page. So it's going to go cart, checkout page, maybe product cart, checkout page, thank you page. It's going to, then you can, if you've got a lot of products, it's going to show you product performance reports, etc. So there's a lot of stuff to have a look in here to find out how many views certain products on your website get, and how many goals. Are they engagement goals? Are they conversion goals? Are they awareness goals? So can you see how just setting up segments, goals, and GTMs, which goes into a segment that we're going to show you how to create, gives you some really smart data so that even if you're starting your business from scratch or you're going in and you're determined to find the gold that is in your analytics, and there is gold, and you can make some really smart decisions that need to be made to trim the fat and let you know which content is converting, which content is educating, and which content is just sucking right now. So then you can stop doing the sucking and do more of the awareness, engaging, and converting ones. So that's my summary of reports, and there is some juicy stuff that you're going to be able to find playing with your own account once we show you UTMs and segments, and they're going to be the next 2 lessons. Please don't feel disheartened if you don't get it on the first go. You can get it. I'm a learner that needs to learn quite the same thing around about 3 or 4 times, especially when it's complex, and then it's in the vault. So if you have any questions, please send them over to my Facebook page or the post in the group that I have put this video. Go under there, give me some questions, but after you've done this, make sure you go through and you've watched it once, then go through and do what I've shown you to do in your views. Then get that part done. If you have any questions about that, that's fine. I can answer them in the group or in my page. Other than that, I want you to wait for your next questions, which will be in the SMART goals, in the goals and the segments. The UTM, I'm literally going to show you and give you everything you need to build it and start, practicing. Remember, when you exercise a muscle, it's going to be a little bit weak to start with, but over time, you're going to be flexing with confidence. All right, I hope you got as much out of this as I do when I read analytics reports of my clients. I love it, and I'm happy to give you feedback and insights on how you can, if you've got an idea about a segment, we'll answer that in the next video questions on that post. All right, so glad you're here. Can't wait to help you scale your business. Let's do this.